तं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Welcome back, everyone, to the study of Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 5. This study of Srimad Bhagavatam is extremely useful, extremely fruitful, extremely beneficial for the soul. Whatever mistakes one may have committed over lifetimes, they all get destroyed simply by the study of Srimad Bhagavatam. By reading, by chanting the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, all the sins, all the reactions are destroyed. So the best way to atone for any past mistakes is to study Srimad Bhagavatam, one chapter a day, and chant a lot of Harinam and serve Vaishnavas. This is the best atonement in the whole of Shastra. If you see in the Bhagavat Mahatmya, it is described, Swapurusham api vikshya pasha hastam vadati yama kila tasya karana mule परिहर भगवत कथासु मत्तान prabhur aham anya nrinam na vaishnavana. Yamaraj is telling the Yamadutas, Swapurusham api vikshya pasha hastam, seeing the Yamadutas with noose in their hand, trying to go towards devotees. Yamaraj is telling in the ears of the Yamadutas, Vadati Yama kilatasya karanamule. He is speaking into the ears of the Yamadutas, Parihara Bhagavat Kathasu Mattan. Those who are intoxicated in speaking and reading and hearing about Bhagavatam, leave them. Why? Prabhur aham anya nrinam na vaishnavanam. Yamraj is telling Yamadutas, I am the Lord for all other human beings, but not for the Vaishnavas. For them, the Lord is Sri Hari. So don't touch them. Don't touch them. So Bhagavatam says that those who offer obeisances to Sri Krishna, and those who remember him, and those who chant about him every day, Yamadutas cannot touch. Jivhana Vakti Bhagavad Gunanamadheyam Chetascha Tat Smaratina Charanaravidam Krishnaya Tat Shira Ekadapi Tan Anayatva Masatokrita Vishnu Krityan. Yamraj tells Yamadutas that only those who don't chant the names of Krishna, those who don't bow down to him, those who don't remember him, you have authority only over them. If somebody is chanting every day, offering namaskar to Thakurji every day, to Krishna every day, and at the same time remembering Krishna while doing other activities also, Yamraj tells Yamadutas, you have no right over such personalities. You have no right over such personalities. At the same time, here you can see, this says, Parihara Bhagavat Kathasu Mattan Prabhur Aham Anya Nrinam Na Vaishnavanam. Yamraj is telling Yamadutas that those who are studying Bhagavatam, but for that Bhagavat Kathasu Mattan, the condition is Matta. Bhakti muhu prabhatam tvaime prasango भूयाद अनंत महताम अमलाशयानाम येनांजसोल बनमुरु व्यसनम भवाब्धिम नेष्ये भवद गुण कथामृत पान matta. Matta is the important thing. Matta means to be intoxicated, to be absorbed completely. Dhruva Maharaj is telling Sri Hari that the only desire now I don't have the desire to have a big kingdom or a big palace, but my only desire is lifetime after lifetime, may I have the association of those who are completely absorbed in Hari Katha and Hari Kirtan. That's all that I want. I don't want anything else. Naivo dvije paraduratya vaitaranyastvadvirya gayana mahamritam magna chitta shoche tatho vimukha chetasa indriyartha. Even Prahlad Maharaj is saying the same thing, that because now I am completely absorbed in hearing and chanting about you, O Sri Hari, I have no worry. I absolutely have no worry of crossing the cycle of birth and death. So these are some things. Chanting the holy name, studying Bhagavatam, worshipping the deities, offering obeisances every day, and offering all our activities to Krishna, even while doing other activities. You're doing something in the kitchen, we remember Krishna. We are going for grocery shopping, we remember Krishna. We should never feel disconnected from our master. This is bhakti. So these are few things. So when Krishna says, Manmana bhavamad bhakta madhyaji mam namaskuru, same thing. We're just repeating the same thing. Manmana means while you're doing other activities, remember Krishna. Mad bhakta means perform bhakti, which means studying Srimad Bhagavatam. Madhyaji, which means you chant the holy name. Namaskuru, worship the deity and offer obeisances. Mame vaishasi satyam te pratijani priyoshimi. These are like the chatushtayam, Govindasya chatushtayam. These are the four aspects of approaching Sri Hari. And most important is, of course, these four are important. Nirvaira sarva bhuteshu. Not feeling envious of anyone. That is another important thing. To keep away from bad association. Same thing Krishna repeats again. Mat karma krit mat paramo mat bhakta sangavarjita nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yasamameti pandava. Same principle again and again. Mat karma krit. Whatever activity you're doing, offer it to Krishna. Whatever it may be. You're offering water to a kadipata plant. You still think this is a tulsi plant and you offer water. Or you think this I can use it in my cooking or whatever. Or we are walking somewhere, we are going for a walk. Let's say if you have to take 10,000 steps a day, doctor has said you have to walk. Then you think to yourself, only if I walk like this every day, will my body be used to when I have to do Govardhan Parikrama or Vrindavan Parikrama. So you're walking around the building, but the mental preparation is for Brajdham. Even if somebody is walking 30 minutes on a treadmill, one has to think that, okay, I'm preparing my body. Somebody may be thinking that I'm preparing for a marathon, but I'm actually preparing for doing Vrindavan Parikrama. So in that way, even walking becomes bhakti. Right? So mat karma krin, performing all activities for Krishna. Mat karma krin, mat paramo, understanding Krishna to be the aim of our life, the goal of our life. Mad bhakta, studying Bhagavatam, chanting the holy name. This is bhakti. My Guru Maharaj once said, if you have Bhagavatam in one hand and bead bag in the other, in the association of devotees, you will go back home back to God. Krishna Prem will be available in your heart, fully manifest, he said. And then Guru Maharaj said, you should not have any doubt. He was giving a public class and Maharaj said that. And Sangavarjita, giving up bad association. So even after doing all this, if we are too addicted on our smartphone or watching movies or watching other things and talking to people of this world too passionately, then that is enough holes to drain away all the essence that we have sought through Bhagavatam. So therefore, to seal all of that is very important. And then with devotees, Nirvaira Sarva Bhuteshu, if somebody is better than us, we should bow down. Happily bow down, because when we bow down to them, whatever bhakti they are performing, by their blessing, some will come to our heart. But if we envy them, then that is great aparad, mahadaparad. So anyway, Yamaraj is saying, Prabhur aham anyandranam na Vaishnavanam. Yamaraj is telling Yamadutas that I am the Lord of everyone else, but not for the Vaishnavas who are studying Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is quite hope-giving. So let's continue our study of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 5, text 15 onwards. Sri Narada Uvacha, Etavad Brahmana Yoktva Virarama Mahamati Tam Sannibhartsya Kupita Sudino Rajasevaka. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The great saint Narada Muni continued, the great soul Prahlad Maharaj became silent after saying this to his teachers Shanda and Amarka, the seminal sons of Shukracharya. These so-called Brahmanas then became angry at him because they were servants of Hiranyakashipu. They were very sorry, and to chastise Prahlad Maharaj, they spoke as follows. So just before this, we saw how Prahlad Maharaj has been instructing, preaching, speaking to Shanda and Amarka, the two sons of Shukracharya. They were also the class teachers of Prahlad. And Prahlad told them that one should not have this abhinivesh, this absorption, dvitiya abhinivesh, in the external of this world. Instead of thinking that Vishnu is my nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnu, instead of thinking that Vishnu is my ultimate swartha, my ultimate everything. Krishna is the mother, father, brother, sister, son, daughter, husband, wife for all living beings. He is everything. But Prahlad Maharaj is telling his teachers, instead of thinking like this, you are thinking that this is my camp, this is my friend, This is my enemy. This is all not proper understanding. Therefore, give your life to Krishna. Completely offer love, all your heart's love. Janani janak bandhu sutadara, tana dhana bhuvan surid paribara, sabki mamata tak batori, mama pad manahi bandh padi tori. Every relation that we have in this world is like a little thread. And Sri Ramachandra said, make all of those threads into a very big, thick rope. And on one side, you keep your mind, and on the other side, keep my lotus feet and bind it together. This is in Goswami Tulsidas Ji's work. So, what does that mean? That means that whomever we see, we understand Krishna, my Lord lives in their heart. So whomever we see, their body is actually a temple. Mama mana mandire raho nishidin. So we cannot hurt and criticize and take sides with anyone against anyone because they're all temples. How can you take sides with one temple against another temple? You cannot, because it is the same Sri Hari on both those altars. Same with the ants, same with the elephant, same with the trees, same with the devotee, same with the non-devotee, same with the male, same with the female, same with children, same with senior citizens. Krishna in full potency lives in everyone's heart. And he says that again and again in the Gita. Ishvara sarvabhutanam riddesha arjuna tishtati. Sarvasya chaham riddhi sanyavishtaha. Aham atma gudakesha sarvabhutashayastita. So many times. And you will see he's saying the word sarva every time. Ishvara sarvabhutanam. Sarvasya chaham riddhi sanyavishta. Aham atma gudakesha sarvabhutashayastita. Suridam sarvabhutana. Again and again he will say sarva. He doesn't say bhaktana. He doesn't say suridam bhaktanam, suridam chaham bhaktanam. I am the friend of the devotees. Everybody. Krishna doesn't take sides with anyone. He's on everybody's side. So Prahlad Maharaj is telling his teachers that this is how you should think. Don't take sides with one against the other. Hiranyaksha was a demon and Vishnu just liberated him. So now thinking that Hiranyaksha was my camp, Vishnu is my enemy because he killed him. Don't think like that. So when Prahlad was preaching like this, Shanda and Amarka really got angry. They got angry. Here the word used is tan sanni bhartsya kupita. Sanni bhartsya. Bhartsna. They scolded Prahlad severely. And kupita. They became very angry. Look at how the words used for Prahlad and the words used for Shanda and Amarka. Prahlad is the student, and the word used for him is Mahamati. Who is speaking? Narad Muni. Narad Muni is saying his own disciple is Mahamati. And his teachers, Prahlad's teachers, Sannibhartsya Kupita, they became angry and they started chastising and rebuking him. The word used, interesting word used is Virarama. Virarama means to fall silent, to become quiet. So Mahamati means what to speak, to whom, how much to speak, and when to keep quiet. All of this is Mahamati. So Prahlad did not do too much. He did not go on and on for 5 chapters preaching. At the same time, he didn't just say it in one line. He elaborated depending on how much Shanda and Amarka had to hear, and then he kept quiet. He kept quiet. So, Sampurna kumbho na karoti shabdam. It is important to know that a full pot doesn't make much noise. A half pot makes a lot of noise. Ardho ghato ghoshamupaiti nunam. The Subhashita describes that just like in English, you say empty vessels make more noise. And the vessels which are complete and full, little sound, but not quite after. Then complete silence. You can see even the puris, as soon as you put them, toss them into the oil, you see they start splitting and splitting initially. But then once they become full, they're just like floating on the surface. No more sound after that. So initially, those who are half pots, or should you say crack pots, making lot of sound. But then the full pots, sampurna kumbho na karoti shabdam. The ones who are very intelligent, they say as little as needed, but then they're quiet. Maunam sarvartha sadhanam. So Virarama Mahamati. Prahlad Maharaj spoke and then he took to silence. And Shanda and Amarka became very angry. Upadesho hi murkhanam prakopayana shantaye. Payapanam bhujanganam kevalam vishavardhanam. You give milk to a serpent, thinking that it will do good to the serpent. Somehow the snake's poison goes on increasing. Similarly, when you give good advice to somebody who's like a snake, thinking that I'm giving milk to that snake, it ends up raising its hood. The poison increases. So, payapanam bhujanganam kevalam vishavardhanam. Snake's visha or poison increases when milk is given. So, and if you advise someone and the person gets angry, then we must understand. So, no more advice needed. This we should be careful. Or that holds true for us also. If somebody is telling us something nice and we are refuting the false egos, trying to justify, and we get angry, then the verse is holding true for us as well. Srila Prabhupada, in this purport, he makes a brilliant point about actual behavior of a Brahmana. I'll read this in the purport. This is, I believe, from the third sentence. The Brahmana Shanda and Amarka, being seminal sons of Shukracharya, did not actually possess real Brahmanical qualifications, for they engaged as servants of Hiranyakashipu. An actual Brahmana is very much satisfied to see anyone, not to speak of his own disciple, become a devotee of Lord Krishna. Such Brahmanas are meant to satisfy the Supreme Master. A Brahmana is strictly prohibited from becoming a servant of anyone else, for that is the business of dogs and Shudras. A dog must satisfy his master, but a Brahmana does not have to satisfy anyone. He is simply meant to satisfy Krishna. That is the real qualification of a Brahmana. Because Shanda and Amarka were seminal Brahmanas and had become servants of such a master as Hiranyakashipu, they unnecessarily wanted to chastise Prahlad Maharaj. So true. So true. So Srila Prabhupada is making the distinction of a fake Brahmana and a real Brahmana. A real Brahmana is Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. Brahma means Shastra. Veda, Bhagavatam is called Brahma. The word Brahma has many meanings. It could mean Lord Brahma. It could mean Parabrahma, Bhagavan. It could mean celibacy. It could mean the light of Brahma, Brahma Jyoti. That's also called Brahman. But in the context of Brahmana, the word Brahma could primarily mean Shastra. So Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. Somebody who understands Shastra properly and applies it fearlessly is a Brahmana. But on the other hand, if someone is only a Brahmana in name, Vipradvishat guna yuthataravindanabha padaravinda vimukhachvapacham varishtham, Prahlad Maharaj says, if someone is a Brahmana in name alone without bhakti, then such a person cannot even purify himself. He cannot even purify himself completely. Shanda and Amarka, they are Brahmanas in the seminal line, which means they are born Brahmanas. जन्म से ब्राह्मण है, पर ब्राह्मण के गुण है या नहीं, इसका सोच विचार करना है. परंतु प्रहलाद महाराज की दृष्टि से यदि देखा जाए, प्रहलाद महाराज was a Brahmana in true sense. He was speaking Shastra fearlessly and didn't care what is going to happen to him. Krishna will protect me. Avashya rakshive Krishna. Mare Krishna rakhe ke rakhe Krishna mare ke. If Krishna can protect, then who can destroy? And if Krishna wants to destroy, then who can protect? Right? So Prahlad Maharaj was in that mood. Sometimes people think that born Brahmana is more important than becoming a Vaishnav. They sometimes think like that. When Srila Prabhupada when he came across a situation like that where his disciples were singing Brahma Samhita and some traditional South Indians had a problem and they said this pronunciation is not very good to hear, Srila Prabhupada said, their pronunciation may not be perfect, but their renunciation is perfect. They have given up America, they have given up their bad habits, they have given up all dirty hippie lifestyle. You can't even give up your chai and coffee, Prabhupada said. You can't even give up your filter coffee to that South Indian Brahmana, Prabhupada said. At another time, when in another place, a South Indian Brahmana said, their pronunciation is not proper. Srila Prabhupada said, then why don't you become their teacher and move into the temple and teach them Sanskrit? He said, Swamiji, I can come once a week. So Prabhupada said, no, they are very slow students. They won't learn once a week. If you move into the temple, attend our programs, associate with us, and live with us and teach them, then they will learn. Prabhupada had a bigger plan. So the point is, nothing wrong in being born a Brahmana. That is actually very glorious. It is wonderful. However, if that is the only thing that we have in our life, and we are not practicing what Shastra says, and we are running behind money, we are running behind satisfying others, buttering others, and greedy for wealth, greedy for position, that is not Brahmanatva. On the other hand, being a Vaishnav, like Prahlad Maharaj, yeah, he was born to Hiranyakashipu. He was not born a Brahmana. He was born to Hiranyakashipu, a demon. But for Prahlad, Narsinga came. He didn't come for Shanda and Amarka. He didn't come for Shukracharya. When Vaman also came, Vaman Dev did not come for Shukracharya. He came for Bali Maharaj. Again, Bali Maharaj was born in a demoniac family in the same as a descendant of Prahlad Maharaj. So all of this clearly show, whether it is Shabari, whether it is Jada Bharat, you can see all of these examples. Jatayu, if you see, he is not a Brahmana. So being born a Brahmana is wonderful if that helps one take the culture and tradition towards bhakti at the lotus feet of Sri Hari. On the other hand, if one is a Brahmana, that makes one proud and makes one ritualistic away from scriptural devotional essence, then that is a deterrent. That's a speed breaker. Sripad Ramanujacharya, his guru, was not a Brahmana. And Sripad Ramanujacharya wanted to wash his lotus feet and invite him home for prasadam. And his guru said, "Oh, I am not a qualified person. You are a Brahmana. How can I accept prasad at your home? How can I accept you washing my feet?" And Sripad Ramanujacharya said, "If me being a Brahmana is stopping me from serving you, who's a Vaishnav, then me being born as a Brahmana is actually a curse." So we must know all these points. At the same time, if someone is born as a Brahmana, we should definitely respect that person. These principles are applicable for us. We shouldn't apply it for the other person. If we are born in a Brahminical family, we should not be proud. We should think the higher thing is performing bhakti. On the other hand, if someone else is born in a Brahminical family, but is not performing bhakti, we still respect them because they have done something in their past life because of which they got a cultured background. But because they're not performing bhakti, we don't associate with them completely. We respect them, but we don't completely associate. On the other hand, somebody may be born in a cobbler family, but may be chanting the holy name. So, aho batashva pachato gariyan yajibhagre vartate namatubhyam tepus tapas juhuvur shashnurarya brahmanu churnama grinhanti yete. That sutra gets applied there. Canto 3, chapter 33, text 7. That if someone is chanting the holy name and performing bhakti, he has performed all limbs of Brahmanatva. He has bathed everywhere and performed all the sacrifices and performed all the rituals and done all the vrat and given all the charity. If someone is chanting Harer Nam, Harer Nam, Harer Nam Aiva Kevalam, Kalo Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatiranyatha. If Harinam is on the tongue and Bhagavat Katha is in the ear and Krishna's form is in the heart, and the body is in Sri Vrindavan Dham, then we are all auspicious. We don't need anything else. Kim Brahma Janma Bhir Ananta Katha Rasasya. Our Uddhav Maharaj, who came to Vrindavan, glorified the gopis. Eta param tanubhrito bhuvi gopavadvo govinda eva nikhilatmani ruda bhava vanchanti yad bhavabhiyo munayo vayam kim brahma janma bhirananta katharasasya. Uddhava says in Glories of the Gopis, he says, these gopis are the highest devotees of all embodied persons. Embodied means those who have bodies. As souls, those who have accepted body, eta param tanubhruto, tanubhrit, जो तनु को धारण किए हैं, इनमें परम कौन है? सबसे उच्च स्थान में किनका स्थान है? एता परम तनुभृतो भुवि गोपवद्व. These gopis. And that too, the word used is gopavadva, gopavadhu, referring to parakiyaras, not swakiyaras, not those gopis who can happily meet with Krishna. But those gopis who are stopped by family, stopped by Shastra, stopped by tradition, stopped by social culture, and they're breaking all those regulations and going and meeting Sham Sundar. being attracted to the flute. Uddhava is saying Gopa Vadhva, coming from the root word Gopa Vadhu. Gopa Vadhu means the wives of the Gopas. These, these wives of the Gopas are the highest devotees, which means they are able to get attracted to Krishna and break all iron chains of obstacles. Bhuvi Gopavadva Govindam eva Nikhilatmani Ruda Bhava. They have Adhiruda Mahabhav, the highest level of love, and they love Krishna with all their heart. This love, Uddhava says, Vanchanti yad bhava bhiyo munayo vayamcha. I aspire for this love. Not that Uddhava wants Gopi Bhav, but Uddhava wants their attachment for Krishna in his Sakhyarati. Uddhava is a friend. So Uddhava is not saying, I want to become a Gopi. When he says Vayamcha, we also aspire for it. He says, we aspire for that level of attachment in our Sthai Bhav as a friend. Vanchanti yad bhava bhiyo munayo vayamcha. We aspire for that. The munis who want mukti, they aspire for this level of love. Bhava bhiya, those who fear repeated cycle of birth and death, they want this level of love. But nobody is able to attain it. And therefore, Uddhava says, Kim Brahma Janmabhir Ananta Katha Rasasya. Ananta Katha. Very nice usage of words. Ananta Katha Rasasya. Ananta Katha means unlimited Katha. Krishna has unlimited forms. Kahai Sune Bahubidhi Savasanta. Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. Krishna is unlimited, so his Hari Katha is unlimited. So either it means the unlimited flow of Hari Katha. If somebody has taste for it, Katha Rasasya, Kim Brahma Janmabhir. Then what is the need to be born as a Brahmana? That's the point why we are quoting that verse here. Kim Brahma Janmabhir Ananta Katha Rasasya. If someone has taste for the unlimited Hari Katha of that Krishna with these gopis in Vrindavan, then what is the need to be born as a Brahmana or Brahma Janmabhir, or desire to even become Lord Brahma? If somebody becomes Chaturmukhi Brahma in Brahmalok, but doesn't get to hear through all his 8 ear holes the Hari Katha of Krishna, unlimited Hari Katha, then what's the use of being Lord Brahma or being born as a Brahmana in this world? On the other hand, if someone is born as a Brahmana, let's say if somebody is not born as a Brahmana or not born as Lord Brahma, but is flooded with this Hari Katha, Kim Brahma Janmabhir, what is the need to be born as Lord Brahma? So if someone is born as Brahma or a Brahmana and doesn't get Hari Katha, what is the use of being born as Lord Brahma? And if somebody is not born a Brahmana or not born as Lord Brahma, but is flooded with this unlimited Hari Katha, then what is the need to be born as a Brahmana or as Lord Brahma? So that word Ananta has been commented by our acharyas so wonderfully. They say that Krishna is unlimited, his katha is unlimited. So Ananta Katha means unlimited rivers of Hari Katha. Tasmin Mahanmukharita Madhubhish Charitram Piyusha Shesha Sarita Parita Sravanti. The fourth canto Bhagavatam describes that a sadhu is he from whose lips unlimited rivers of Hari Katha, like a waterfall in all directions at all times. They are continuously flowing. And there are waves and tides of emotions also in that, where so many aquatics can live. It gives shelter to the Dvipada Pashus of Kali Yuga. All the animalistic mentality, that is all of us, we are taking shelter like aquatics in the river current of Hari Katha flowing from the lips of all of our great acharyas. So Ananta Katha Rasasya, having taste for unlimited Hari Katha. Or Ananta is the name for Krishna. So Ananta Katha Rasasya means having taste for the Katha of Sri Krishna. Or Ananta also refers to the Rasa Leela, where Krishna took unlimited forms. So you can see how wonderful the first line says, Eta param tanu bhruto bhuvi gopa vadvaha. Vadva is in Bahuvachan Prayog. So Gopa Vadhu, Gopa Vadhu, Gopa Vadvaha. Bahuvachan, Prathama Vishnu Bhakti Bahuvachan. So if the gopis are in plural, then Krishna also must be in plural, because in Rasa Leela, Krishna, one Krishna for one gopi. So that plural usage of Krishna is used in the word Ananta. Krishna is unlimited. Ananta Katha Rasasya, which means if someone has taste for Krishna, Vikriditam Vraja Vadhu Bhiridam Cha Vishnu. Krishna taking unlimited forms, dancing with the gopis. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Uddhavji has glorified so wonderfully because he's Mahamati. Mahamati. So in that, he says, Kim Brahma Janma Bhir. That if someone is born a Brahmana but doesn't flood his ears with Hari Katha, what is the use? But on the other hand, if someone is not born a Brahmana and fills his ears with Hari Katha, what is the need to become a Brahmana? But if someone is a Brahmana and is taking shelter of Krishna's Hari Katha and performing bhakti, there's no there is no um, definition, or there's no words of description for that. So it's unbelievable. Okay, so text 16. Now Shanda and Amarka, they get really wild. They are calling for a stick to reprimand Prahlad. Aniyatam are vetram asmakam ayashaskarah kulangara kulangarasya durbuddhe chaturthosyo didito damah. Translation: Oh, please bring me a stick. This Prahlad is damaging our name and fame. Because of his bad intelligence, he has become like a cinder in the dynasty of the demons. Now he needs to be treated by the fourth of the four kinds of political diplomacy, punishment, danda. So they are saying, Aniyatam are. So Shanda and Amarka are calling out, Are! Oh, Vetram Aniyatam. Bring a stick. They're telling. So what the array that comes in Hindi, it's coming from Sanskrit. See, Ani yatam are vetram. Shanda and Amarka are telling their other students, Array, lakdi le aao, bring that stick. Vetram ani yatam. Why? Asmakam ayashaskara. This Prahlad is bringing in ayasha. Ayasha means ill fame. And kulangarasya durbuddhe chaturthosyo dito damah. Now we will give him some punishment and we have to teach him a lesson. However, Saraswati Devi will not tolerate when Prahlad Maharaj is being reprimanded like this. So then Saraswati Devi sits on the tongue of Shanda and Amarka and flips the whole thing as a glorificatory prayer. Aniyatam are vetram. So in Sanskrit, the word vetram means stick, but it also means divyagyan, knowledge. So Shanda and Amarka are saying, Are, oh, we are so much in avidya. Aniyatam are vetram. Please bring in transcendental wisdom in our life. Asmakam ayashaskara. Because this avidya in our heart is bringing ill fame. It is making us durbuddhe. It is making us foolish. And they're calling Prahlad durbuddhi. So in the direct meaning, durbuddhi means Prahlad has bad intelligence. But Saraswati Devi interprets durbuddhi as that Prahlad whose intelligence is very difficult to understand. Or nobody else has that buddhi that Prahlad has. Durbuddhi. He has buddhi, such buddhi that even intelligent people in this world cannot understand what he's saying. So difficult. Durgama. Durgama means very difficult to comprehend, very difficult to understand. So he's durbuddhi. Nobody's as intelligent as him. Therefore, Aniyatamare Vetram. Oh, Prahlad, please give us the Vetra, the transcendental knowledge, which destroys the avidya of our heart. So in this way, double meaning is intended. Srimad Bhagavatam is full of multi-layer meanings. Many verses like this. Now the next verse, quite interesting. Rupak Alankar has been used here. Very nice imagery has been created. Very nice poetic graphical image has been created. So they say, Daiteya Chandana Vane Jato Yam Kantaka Druma Yan Mulon Mula Parashor Vishnor Nala Yitor Bhaka. This rascal Prahlad has appeared like a thorn tree in a forest of sandalwood. To cut down sandalwood trees, an axe is needed. And the wood of the thorn tree is very suitable for the handle of such an axe. Lord Vishnu is the axe for cutting down the sandalwood forest of the family of demons. And this Prahlad is the handle of that axe. So if you're getting confused, we can simplify this. That Shanda and Amarka are saying that Hiranyakashipu's Daitya family, demoniac family, is actually a forest of sandalwood trees. So fragrant. Hiranyakashipu and all the demons, their good qualities are as fragrant as a chandan, as a sandalwood tree. The whole family is actually a forest. And this Prahlad is a thorn tree in that same forest. Now, to cut a sandalwood tree, you need an axe. And that axe is Vishnu, who wants to cut down Hiranyakashipu. But it's interesting, the wood of a thorn tree is cut to make the handle of the axe. So Shanda and Amarka are speaking such great poetry that Prahlad is a thorn tree and Vishnu is an axe who wants to uproot the sandalwood dynasty of Hiranyakashipu. And just like the thorn tree wood is used as a handle for the axe, Vishnu directly is not appearing to kill Hiranyakashipu. He's using this 5-year-old Prahlad. And it's a beautiful example because Vishnu is very big and huge, but Prahlad is very small and young. So the handle of a axe, if you see the proportion, the cutting edge of the axe is going to be much bigger than the length and the width of the handle. So Prahlad as a little boy is a little handle, while Vishnu's crookedness, according to Shanda and Amarka, is the sharpness of his axe-like personality. So he is the axe, razor sharp, and Prahlad is the handle to that axe. And both of them put together are on the mission of uprooting sandalwood trees, which is Hiranyakashipu. How intelligent are Shanda and Amarka? Just that their conclusion is exactly wrong. But they are using very good Rupak Alankar, very good ornamentation, embellishment of poetry, and all of that in Anushtup Chanda. They're not using a bigger meter. Very nice, compact way to explain. But Maya, that which is not. And interesting, they could have said that Prahlad is like a snake on that sandalwood tree because you can find a lot of snakes in a sandalwood tree. So for Shanda and Amarka, if they have to compare Hiranyakashipu to Chandan, they could have compared Prahlad to a snake because snakes are always wrapped around the sandalwood tree. But the interesting thing is, those snakes depend on the sandalwood tree. They always wrap themselves around the branches of the sandalwood tree, and that's where they are for hours every day. Prahlad wasn't like that. He wasn't taking shelter of Hiranyakashipu like the snakes take shelter of a sandalwood tree. He was an individual tree in that forest. He was a little 5-year-old boy, but he was an individual tree. Therefore, Shanda and Amarka did not use the example of Chandan and Sarpa, the snake. Instead, they used the example of a thorn tree. Srila Prabhupada gives a brilliant explanation in the purport. I'll just read the last few lines. Srila Prabhupada says, thus the thorn tree of demoniac civilization can be cut to pieces by the acts of Vishnu Bhakti, devotional service to Lord Krishna. Some of the members of the demoniac civilization, like Prahlad Maharaj, may become the handle of the axe to assist Lord Vishnu, and thus the entire forest of demoniac civilization can be cut to pieces. It's interesting. Prabhupada actually flips the example of Shanda and Amarka. Shanda and Amarka call the demoniac civilization as Chandan tree, and they call Prahlad as the thorn tree. But look how Prabhupada writes, thus the thorn tree of demoniac civilization. So Srila Prabhupada says that the pure devotee, Prahlad, he is actually the Chandan. And Hiranyakashipu's whole family are thorn trees. And Vishnu is the axe, but he is the axe using the Chandan of Prahlad to uproot the thorn tree forest of the demons. And Srila Prabhupada gives it a very wonderful practical explanation that just like Shanda and Amarka say, that Vishnu is using Prahlad to uproot Hiranyakashipu's dynasty, right? As the handle to the axe. Srila Prabhupada says this is so true. Krishna wants to preach bhakti in the whole world, but he doesn't do it personally. He uses pure devotee acharyas in this world who become the handle to the axe. Srila Prabhupada himself was the, what to speak of the handle to the axe. Srila Prabhupada was the axe himself who pushed back Kali Yuga by 10,000 years. It's unbelievable. When Srila Prabhupada got onto the cargo ship, there were only 5 people to bid him farewell. And one out of those 5 were his sons, Vrindavan Chandra De. So when Vrindavan Chandra De Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada's son, was later interviewed and asked that, how did you feel when you saw your father on the Jaladuta? He said, I felt so proud of my father that he was taking the mission of his guru and going into the world of unknown with no money and no contacts and no proper clothes and no proper food. And there, he tossed by the waves of the ocean. Srila Prabhupada is in a little cargo ship. That whole ship, in Prabhupada's words, seemed like a matchbox floating in that ocean, being splashed on both sides by the waves. For 37, 38 days to be just amidst water, we will all get so seasick, we will all get so bored. No communication, absolutely. No phones, no emails. So you're just by yourself and gripping heart attack 2 nights back to back on that Jaladuta. And Srila Prabhupada prays to Krishna, my dear Lord, please help me. I'm simply going to fulfill the words of my Guru Maharaj. And he was praying that the 3rd night he should not have a heart attack. And that night in the dream, he saw Krishna rowing the ship for him. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Srila Prabhupada has got to the Western world, and Srila Prabhupada writes that you have got me for a purpose. I don't know why you have got me here. I don't know why you have got me here. But Ani acho jadi Prabhu, since you have got me here, then please use me as an instrument. Katha shuddha hobe, shuniya shabar shoka dukha je guchive. Please speak through me, my dear Lord, Prabhupada writes. So true, because Srila Prabhupada comes with a heavy Indian Bengali accent, very difficult for those from the Western world to comprehend, and their accent very difficult for Srila Prabhupada, who spent 70 years in India, to comprehend. Prabhupada writes, oh Krishna, please speak through me, so that katha shuddha hobe, so that what I'm speaking is true, it is pure. And Shunya Shabara Shoka Dukha Jeguchibe, those who hear, may all their Rajogun and Tamogun be destroyed. Kashtera Puthali Jata Nachao Shemate, Nachao, Nachao, Prabhu, Nachao Shemate. Krishna, you are my puppeteer and I'm your puppet. You please make me dance the way you want me to dance. I am your puppet. And you can see the magic he created. So pure Vaishnavas, when they preach about Krishna in this world, it is so true. They are the handle to the axe. Krishna is the axe who uproots tamogun, rajogun in this world. But the pure Vaishnavas who become his instruments, they are the handle that he holds on to and destroys. So janasya krishnad vimukhasya daivat adharmashila sudukhitasya anugrahayeha charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani janardhanasya. 3rd canto, 5th chapter describes Janasya Krishnad Vimukhasya Daivat. Those who turn their face away from Krishna, Janasya Krishnad Vimukhasya Daivat Adharma Shila Sudukhitasya. When you turn your face away from the light, automatically you're facing darkness. And you face darkness, decision making will be flawed. So it is described in the Bhagavatam that those who face away from Krishna, they face towards adharma. And when they face towards adharma, they are sudukhita. They are very depressed because reactions are coming. When you are in adharma, the steps that we take are wrong. Our decision making is wrong. Reactions are flawed. So what do pure Vaishnavas do? They forcibly turn this face away towards Maya and towards Krishna. Those who are facing away from Krishna towards Maya, pure Vaishnavas come, kaan pakadkar, marodkar, hari katha sunakar, bhuvi grananti ye bhuri dajana. They turn their faces away from Maya towards Krishna. So janasya krishnat vimukhasya daivat adharma shila sudukhitasya anugrahayeha charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani janardhanasya. Janardhana Sri Hari. Janardhana has 2 meanings. Janardhana means he who maintains his devotees. And Jana Ardhana also means he who destroys the demons. Bhakta Jana Ardhana, he who protects his devotees. And Daitya Janardana, he who destroys the demons. So Krishna is Janardhan. So both those meanings are intended in that verse. Bhutani Bhavyani Janardhanasya. Krishna, the protector of devotees and destroyer of demons, sends his power packed representatives in this world. And what are they doing? They are speaking Harikatha. They are never quiet. Pure Vaishnavas are Gava hi sunahi sadamama leela. Hetu rahit parahit ratashila. They are constantly singing and speaking about Sri Krishna. Constantly. Bhuvi grinhanti ye bhurida jana. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavi bhiriditam kalmashapaham shravana mangalam shrimadatam bhuvi grinhanti ye bhurida jana. Greatest service that can be done in this world is flooding this world with Krishna Katha. This is the greatest service. Because by hearing Krishna Katha, automatically heart gets attracted to Sri Krishna. And this is the greatest service. Greatest service. To take one away from sense gratification and bring to Krishna is a big trouble. It's big, big sacrifice. Why? Because Maya is visible. Sense objects are visible. And you don't have to do any tapasya. You simply have to bring your senses to the sense objects and there is instant joy. Instant joy. And Krishna is not seen. Objects are not seen. Vrindavan, Golok Dham is not seen. Krishna's parikar, friends, associates are not seen. The five rasas are not seen. And now you have to take the person by the ear away from things that can be experienced. His objects, his senses are touching the sense objects and he's feeling joy. And the Acharya convinces him, there is no joy in this. And there is joy in that which he cannot see. The follower hasn't seen yet. So the teacher has to be so powerful to turn the consciousness of the listener from things that are seen and experiential in this world to things that cannot be seen and cannot be experienced, initially at least, and to prove what you're experiencing is illusion and temporary and dukkhdai, gives you suffering, to that which you haven't seen is actually ananda paramasukhadai, that which gives param greatest joy. Oh, this is very great service to turn the consciousness of a person. Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, if by giving gallons and gallons of blood, I could turn one person away from Maya and take him back to the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna, my mission of the Gaudiya Math is successful. And if you see in the body, there are no gallons and gallons of blood. There's no gallons and gallons of blood. But Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada said, by the Acharya, the preacher has to put gallons and gallons of blood. What does that mean? It means he has to come Mama Janmani, Janmani Ishware. He has to come again and again and again to take one soul by the ear. Nrideha madhyam sulabham sudurlabham plavam sukalpam Guru Karanadharam. Guru Karanadharam means this world is an ocean. Human body is the ship. We are the passenger as the soul and Guru is the captain. So Karanadhar means captain. But Karanadhar also means he who pulls the ear. So Guru has to discipline. He has to discipline the student. That is Karanadhar. But Karanadhar also means when the disciple is not hearing Harikatha, the Guru has to pull his ear out and fill Harikatha into that hole. Karanam Purayati iti Karanapur. Kavi Karanapur was called Karanapur because he could fill the holes of the ear. So Guru Karanadhar, either in punishment or he has to just pull it outward so that the katha can enter completely. It's like putting a little eardrop. You have to put and you face it this way so that the eardrops go inside and they don't come out. So this is Rasayanam. Nivritta tarshai upakiyamana bhavaushada shrotra manobhiramat ka uttama shloka gunanuvadat puman birajyeta bina pashugnat. Niramayam Krishna Rasayanam piba. This is Krishna Rasayan. Rasayanam means nectar, but Rasayanam also means medicine. So many multiple double meaning is going on. Krishna Katha is the medicine and Krishna Katha is nectar. So it has to go through the ear. And why it has to go through the ear? Because Guru is Karanadhar, which means captain, but also means Karanadhar who holds the ear. And this Guru is a representative of Janardhana. Janardhana means he who protects the devotees or he who destroys the demons. Wow, Srimad Bhagavatam, breathtaking, breathtaking. Srimad Bhagavatam can raise our heart rate more than a treadmill. You can run on a treadmill and the heart rate goes up, but Srimad Bhagavatam sitting on a chair can increase the heart rate even more. and and there can be tears and sweating, so much cardio being done sitting on the chair, speaking about Krishna. The heart is racing in excitement. So the point is, Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, it is true that acharyas, they are like the handle. They are the handle. And even Chanda and Amarka realize this, that Prahlad is an acharya who is the handle to the axe of Vishnu, who is there to uproot and destroy all the trees of Hiranyakashipu's dynasty. Bhavadbida Bhagavata Tirtha Bhutam Swayam Vibho Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Swantastena Gadabratha. Seeing a pure Vaishnav gives us the fruit of circumambulating all tirthas. Bhavadvida Bhagavata Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho. Prayag has Triveni Sangam, three rivers, Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati. Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati. And Saraswati Devi is considered to be reddish, but she's not seen. She's aprakat. But you can see the black color of the Jamuna meet the white color of the Ganga and the reddish tinge of Saraswati, which is very little. So Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad has said, the source of the Triveni Sangam is Krishna's lotus feet, where the upper black skin of Krishna's body, the Indra Nila Mani Manjula Varna, Pulla Nipa Kusumanjita Karana, Krishna Labira Krishorasi Hari, Sundaro Jayati Kunja Vihari. Krishna's dark complexioned lotus feet is the Jamuna. And Krishna's white colored toenail, that is the white color of the Ganga. So Ganga got her complexion by touching the white toenails of Krishna's lotus feet, Vamana's lotus feet. So Krishna's skin is the Jamuna, and the tip of Krishna's white sparkling toenails, that is the Ganga. So Jamuna and Ganga have met, and Saraswati is reddish but hidden, and that is the soul of Krishna's feet. So that is hidden because it's under, but it's reddish because it is the soul. So the Triveni Sangam is the Triveni Sangam because they are carrying the color of Krishna's lotus feet. Our Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad says. And imagine sadhus who are walking with that lotus feet in their heart. Tumara Hridaye Sada Govinda Bishram. So millions and millions of Prayag and Triveni Sangam will come to take darshan of that one sadhu. Therefore, Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani So Antastena Gadabrata. Pure Vaishnavas, when we have darshan of them, you get the benefit of all the tirthas. Yat tirtha buddhi salilena karhichit janeshu abhijneshu sa eva gokhara. Imagine going to a tirtha and not having darshan of a sadhu like that. Higher thing is, yes, you take dip in the Triveni, but then spend maximum time taking dip in the Harikatha of those sadhus who are living on the banks of the Triveni. Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastra Koy, Lava Matra Sadhu Sange Sarva Siddhi Hoy. कृष्ण भक्ति जन्म मूल होय साधु संग कृष्ण प्रेम जन्मेते हो पुनर्मुख्य अंग रहुगणै तत्तपसा न याति न चेज्जया निर्वापणात् गृहात्वा न छंदसा नैव जलाग्नि सूर्यो विना महत्पाद रजोभिषेकम महीयसां पाद रजोभिषेकम निष्किंचनानां न गृणीत यावत्. प्रहलाद महाराज, जड़ भरत, all of them, Chaitanya Charitamrita, all of them are speaking the glories of a great Vaishnava, a great sadhu. Mahad vichalanam nrinam grihinam dina chetasam nishreyasaya bhagavan kalpate nanyatha kvachit. Even Nanda Maharaj, when he sees Gargacharya in Canto 10, Chapter 8, Gargacharya is coming to Gokul Mahavan to perform the name-giving ceremony of Krishna and Balaram. So Nanda Baba stands up with folded palms and he says, great souls like you, O Gargacharya, you are coming to benefit us. And then he says, Grihinam Dina Chetasam. We are fallen Grihastas. Gargacharya is hearing this spoken by Nanda Maharaj, who is the father of Krishna. Why is he saying we are fallen Grihastas? Because he's saying, ideally you should be doing bhajan in your kutir, or Gargacharya, and we Grihastas should come to take darshan of you. But what to do? We are so stuck with our work and money and children and car and savings that to leave our home and come to your ashram is very difficult. Even when we take yatras, or let's say we go to Vrindavan or Navadvip for Kartik, we always have to think, how many days can I take off from work and school for kids, right? So desire may be there to go, but because we are grihasthas, so then the house brings us back. Tavat kara griham griham. Tavad mongri nigodo yavan Krishna nate jana. As Brahmaji says, our grihastha homes are like prison houses where there are no iron bars, but we still can't overcome. There are no handcuffs, but still we are not able to escape. And even when we go to work 2 hours, then somehow we drive back and come to the same house. So the house has some akrashnatva shakti, some mohanatva shakti, that even when we go for yatra, even to Vrindavan, even to Jagannath Puri, we have to keep thinking, when can I come back? Because I have to go to work and kids have school. So Gargacharya is coming and Nanda Baba saying, we are supposed to come to you. But because we are so stuck with our own activities, you are very kind that you are coming to us. Mahad vichalanam dhrinam. Chalanam means to walk and vi means vishesha. You are taking great steps of compassion. Mahat vi chalanam dhrinam. हम जैसों के लिए आप बड़े बड़े कदम ले रहे हैं. बड़े बड़े कदम माने तेज गति से. You're coming faster. With lot of compassion, you're coming to us. Therefore, it is my duty to welcome you, says Nanda Baba. So the point is, if somebody is Krishna's father, they could have the pride. Why should I offer my obeisances to anybody? I have Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. Krishna is my son. But Nanda Baba is so humble, teaching us that great Vaishnavas like Gargacharya or Prahlad Maharaj in this case, or Srila Prabhupada in the example that we were speaking about, or those great Vaishnavas who are speaking Harikatha, they are carrying the Triveni Sangam of Krishna's lotus feet in their heart. They are such great recipients of the Lord's mercy that certainly it is true that if Vishnu is the axe who has the plan to uproot Maya, these pure Vaishnavas are used as the handle. Because Vishnu is not going to come here and speak Harikatha. He's there speaking Bhagavad Gita once, and he's there in the heart, whispering to every jiva. But that is like speaking Harikatha in the room without a microphone. The speaker is speaking, but we can't hear so clearly. So the Paramatma is speaking, but somehow the noise of our own desires is so loud, we can't hear what the Super Soul is telling us. But pure Vaishnavas come from outside. And on loudspeakers, they're doing kirtan on the street. And on loudspeakers, they're speaking Hari Katha for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. So if we miss even 1 hour, we still get another 2 hours. We miss 2 hours, we still get another 2 hours. And they're doing morning katha and evening katha and afternoon katha. Oh, so amazing. If Hari Katha, the river of Hari Katha was not there in this world, all other limbs of bhakti will weaken. If we don't hear about Krishna, when we worship him as deity, it will become burdensome. Because we are just doing ritualistic decoration. What people do at a, let's say, official, there are people who officially decorate the stage for a wedding or a backdrop, and they have, you can give them on contract and then they will do all that. What's the difference between them and those who are doing deity worship? The difference is the person who's worshipping the deity, if he's hearing Hari Katha, he understands that Krishna, I belong to you. You're so kind to accept me as your servant. And you're giving me chance to touch your form and tie the turban for you and decorate the flowers on those turban. Krishna, you're very kind. You don't need me, but I need you. You have thousands of servants. You can use any one of them, but you're so kind to use me. So this thought process, this mentality, and what to pray to the deities will all come by Hari Katha. Otherwise, if somebody is cooking in the kitchen of the temple and not hearing Hari Katha, just busy cooking, what is the difference between that and someone who's cooking as a cook in the restaurant? It's the same. Because consciousness, here we are criticizing devotees, there they're criticizing some other co-workers. Criticizing and cooking and just thinking, okay, how quickly can I get done? I need to go home. But on the other hand, if we are hearing Hari Katha, then those who are cooking in the temple for the deities and for the devotees will think, oh, so wonderful. Same fortune that Raghav Pandit has in Gaur Leela, same fortune that Radharani and Yashoda Rani have in Krishna Leela. I have been blessed with that same opportunity to cook for Krishna and cook for the devotees. So what gives vision for all limbs of bhakti is Hari Katha. Hari Katha. In any community, hearing and chanting is the heartbeat. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam. My palms are itching. That verse is coming very soon. We are at 17, that's 23. So I'm still saying it. Prahlad Maharaj is going to say very soon that Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, that of all the limbs of bhakti, these nine are the topmost. And in that, hearing about Krishna is the number one. Hearing about Krishna is the number one. So, as much as we can, we should continue to hear about Krishna. Parikshit Maharaj had only 7 days to live, and he could have picked anything in those 7 days, and he picked to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from Shukadev Goswami on the banks of the Ganga. So, whenever possible, we should keep hearing Harikatha. We are driving, hear Harikatha. Cooking, hear Harikatha. Have a speaker in your home, preferably waterproof, so you can take it even in the bathroom. We are brushing and Harikatha is on. I have seen some senior devotees, as soon as they wake up, they put on a class of Prabhupada. There's one brahmachari I know, he sleeps on the floor, and as soon as he wakes up, he puts on a class of Srila Prabhupada. And then he's rolling the mat and mopping, sweeping that place. Then he goes and brushes and shaving, and Prabhupada's class is on, cutting his nails. I personally saw. So inspiring, so inspiring. So we should hear as much as possible. We should be surrounded by transcendental sound vibration. So Krishna Katha and Japa, Kirtan. Whenever possible, when we are chanting Hare Krishna, we should hear that sound vibration. That is also Hari Katha only. Yan nama shruti matrena puman bhavati nirmalaha. Heart becomes cleansed by hearing about Krishna. So this is glorious. We should take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. We should take shelter of the Vaishnavas who speak Srimad Bhagavatam. We should take shelter of Harinam Prabhu. Life will be sublime. Wherever we go, we are protected. We are protected from all directions if we are hearing about Krishna. And if we are not hearing about Krishna, spiritual life may become very stagnant after some point, and it may become very superficial. It may only be about, okay, numbers. How many this am I doing? How many that am I doing? External achievements on the path of bhakti. That is also important. But if it is not imbued by hearing and chanting, it will become very passionate and competitive. So this is what Prahlad Maharaj is saying. That we should, Srila Prabhupada is saying through this example, that we should take shelter of those handles, acharyas, who are the handles to the axe, Vishnu, who have appeared in this world to uproot material nature, demoniac atheistic material nature, which is like the thorn tree forest of this world. Okay, so we'll pause here. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol, Shila Gurudev ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Shachi Nandan Gaur Hari ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Shama Sundar ki jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Bolo Jai Jai Shri Radhe Sham. By the way, quick announcement, Kartik Katha is coming up in 15 days. Kartik Maas is about to begin, 15 to 20 days. So we will have daily Katha for 30 days in that month. So 7th Canto Bhagavatam will be paused at that point. We will continue 7th Saptam Skanda after the Kartik Katha. So 30 days we will have Kartik Katha, and the topic remains a suspense. We will announce that soon. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.